Hi, this is Vicki with the Paper Connection. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I have another fun project for you. I am going to be using the Gather Together stamp set along with the framelits. And as you can see, I've already mounted up quite a few of my stamps that I'm going to be using, but these framelits or the die cuts are spectacular. I love how you can cut out the leaves, and yet it leaves the impression as if they really are leaves. If you can, I don't know if you can see it there or not. I'll show it to you as I create the card, but it is such a fun stamp set. I also wanted to show you this paper. Now, I'm just going to be totally honest with you. When I saw in the catalog that these papers were our new papers for fall, I wasn't won over to begin with. I'm a more traditional type fall girl, you know, with the oranges and all of that sort of thing. And when they brought out the pretty peacock colors and the mint colors, and I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. But you know what? The more I have played with it, the more I have fallen in love with it. And so I've made 2 cards with it so far, and actually 3, and I absolutely love it. But just take a look at these beautiful colors and these different styles. And I've used some of it, and I switched it over so you can see the two-sidedness of it. Here you go, right here. Anyway, beautiful papers, beautiful stamp set, and it is just so fun, and I can't wait for fall to get here. All of this comes out of the new holiday catalog, and I would love to send one of these to you. If you do not already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to send one to you. I'll have my email on the screen at some point, either now or at the end, definitely at the end. But if you'll just let me know, I would love to send one to you and have me be your demonstrator. Okay, without further ado, let's get started playing. Okay, so I brought some scrap paper in, and I brought my project in, and what I'm using for my card base is soft Seafoam. It's such a light and pretty color, and it is it gets picked up by the soft Seafoam that's in the, I think that's the color that's in the pumpkins. So pretty. And I'm going to go ahead and layer that down. Look how pretty that is on the other side. I just love gingham checks. So fun. Just going to lay this down here. And all of the sizes, the dimensions, the supplies, links for the supplies, all of that will be listed at the bottom of this video. So I'm going to bring in the pretty peacock, and I'm going to do my sentiment first. It says Season of Thanks right there. And I'm going to use the Timeless Label Punch for that. And I'm just going to cut that out just like so. Then I'm going to use some of the crumb cake, and I'm just going to speckle it up just a little bit. There's a stamp in the stamp set that is just speckles, and it just seemed a little too white and too much of a blank space around it. So whenever I was creating the card, I decided that I was just going to give it a little bit of speckly, just a speckled look to it. While I have the crumb cake out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the leaf that is right here, and I'll show you how I did that. So I'm stamping that in crumb cake, and then I'm going to take a small block, and I'm just going to put it down into the ink, and I'm using my aqua painter. Now technically you shouldn't be using your aqua painter on these types of inks. You should use your aqua painter with StazOn, but I'm going to have a very light hand at it and just kind of fill it in places. Okay, now the one thing that you don't want to do is to linger too long in certain places whenever you're using regular paper, not watercolor paper, and also when you're using this type of ink. You don't want to linger for too long because it will cause the fiber of the paper to break down. It'll bead up and it'll lose its consistency and it just won't look right. So you'll notice that I made very slight quick motions, and the places that I did add a little bit heavier hand were pretty much where the stem was at. So now let me go cut that out. Actually, before I do that, let's go ahead and do our pumpkins as well. All right, so I'm gonna I can't talk today. I'm going to stamp in soft Seafoam a large pumpkin, and then I'll show you what I did with this. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I made this pumpkin grouping right here. And what I did was I took my Pretty Peacock and I just tried to ink up just the Pretty Peacock section. Okay, now I did get a little bit right there on the other pumpkin. I just wiped that away, and then I took my my Cajun Craze marker, and I just went along and I highlighted the frame of the other pumpkin, just like that. Then I'm just going to blow on it and stamp it. Isn't that cool? That's really cool how that happens. Now I noticed that I did kind of get a little bit of this pumpkin in the Cajun Craze, but it's okay. It will end up working out just fine. And I'm going to bring the one block in again, and I'm going to just hit it with a little bit of the Cajun Craze. I'm going to take my, I've cleaned this off earlier, and I'm just going to get in here and just color that pumpkin. And the way you clean your thing off is your aqua pen, you just go until it doesn't have color on it anymore. That off, and now I'm going to come in with the soft Seafoam and do the same with this other pumpkin. And there you go. All done. Now I'm going to go cut these out and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and while I was off camera I went ahead and cut out the leaf and the two pumpkins, and I realized that I had not stamped the little sheets of wheat, so I did that as well. And I went ahead and cut this out with a stitched nested label, which I used I think it was the second to the largest one of those. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish my stamping, and then we will assemble the card. The last little bit of stamping that I have to do is the inside of it, and I'm going to use Pretty Peacock to do my sentiment. May this season bring you smiles and love that will last all year. And I'm going to just put a little pumpkin down here in the corner, just like that. So let me put the Pretty Peacock away. And the other thing that I did while I was off camera was I went ahead and I cut out with crumb cake these cute little leaves. Check this out. Look at the veins of these leaves. How pretty is that? Love it. Well, I wanted it to show up even more, so I'm taking my sponge dauber with my crumb cake, and I'm just going to kind of muss it up a little bit, and it will cause those veins just to stick out a little bit more so that they're a little bit more visible even. Okay, put that away, and then the only other thing I have left to do is to cut out. The sheaths of wheat do not come with a die cut, so I'm just going to fussy cut around these. Okay, so now here comes the fun part. We're going to put all of this together. Let's go ahead and put the inside in first. There you go. And then we're going to pop this up on dimensionals. So put those along the back side. And I'm being quite liberal with these dimensionals because I'm going to use my dimensionals to keep the linen, the braided linen. Actually, I don't think that's what it's called. It's this ribbon right here. And basically what you do is you cut off a piece and then you just take one of the strings and you just pull it. I used this as one of the tips of the week last week on my Facebook page. And I have 4 pieces that I'm just going to put in place, and I'm going to use my dimensionals to hold it in place. Okay. I don't have a rhyme or reason of how to do this. I just kind of do it the way I think it's going to end up looking good, and I like it to be willy-nilly. I like things to be sticking out here and there, so that's just kind of how I do it. So like I'm going to start over here and then come like that. So it ends up just kind of sticking out everywhere. And that's the way I like it to look. I might like it, let me try this a little differently though. I think I want my loops to be a little bit larger. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and place this in place. Right here in the middle, just like that. And I'm also going to place dimensionals on the back of that, like that. But before I put that in place, I'm going to start building on this. So I want my larger leaves in place. And if you've watched my videos, you know I like to kind of do things in triangles. So therefore, I've got 3 leaves going right there. I'm going to stick my little sheath of wheat right there. I'm going to stick another sheath of wheat coming right here on this one. Then I'm going to go ahead and place this on top. Like this. Then I will add my pumpkins. And it seems like a lot of dimensionals, but what I'm doing here is I'm not placing this dimensional on top of that one because that would be like triple the height. So I just put it off to the side and then add a little bit of glue on this side of the pumpkin. And I'll do the same on this one. I'm going to put it on the right hand side right here and then add a little bit of glue right in here, and I'm just going to stick my pumpkin right over here. And the very last thing I'm going to do with it is to use Wink of Stella. Now I've actually instead of using an aqua painter before, I've actually used Wink of Stella with ink, and that works really well too. I don't know why I didn't think to do that this time. There we go. And man, that turns out to be such a beautiful card. Whew, what a mess. Okay, look how beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? I think I might have had a little bit more string on this one, but it's still a gorgeous card. I'm really, really happy with it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it will inspire you to make a card of your own. And if you like this video, hit subscribe. If you really liked it, hit the bell, and you'll get notice of when future videos come out. And again, if you would like a catalog, please feel free to contact me and I will get one to you right away. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day.